Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, we don't have the full crew tonight, but we're going to get as close as we can get. It's 8:30 on a Wednesday. Bring your beverages. All are welcome. The alcoholic kind, the non-alcoholic kind. What are you drinking on a Wednesday? It's Outsiders time. Texas has a new men's basketball coach. We have a Mock 5 Top 5 discussion to have, and we hope y'all are having a good Wednesday night. Let's get you updated. First off, it is, of course, no matter how many people you see or how many people you're going to see, it's the Outsiders brought to you by Poncho. Let's talk spring poncho. Yes, those short sleeve spring jobs. That's kind of my favorite poncho. Not going to lie to you. I got the two in the middle already. And actually, you know what? The Bonito, is that the one I'm wearing right now? It may be the one I'm wearing right now. So I might have 3 of those 4. The Buckhorn I do not have yet, but go to ponchooutdoors.com and make sure you mention Orange Bloods Live. But I do love the shirts. I'm a mother of pearl snap guy. I go with the Western style, but if you want to go with the regular, more of the regular button, you go with that one. They got the Performance Crew that we've showed you with the incredible hoodies. I sleep in a poncho shirt every night that I can. They are super comfy, those t-shirts, long or short sleeve. So go check those out at ponchooutdoors.com. Bo's rocking the poncho hat too. Sometimes they run cool deals where you get those hats. They got stickers. They got all kinds of extra stuff that you can get as well. Okay, so first off, no Jason Dick tonight. He's dealing with some other things, and we wish him well. And I'm sure he is shopping as we speak for some diet cherry moon mist, whatever that he'll be drinking next.
And the worst part is, I actually found a cocktail in a can that would put him to shame, but I saved it for next week.
Oh, Bo, I cannot wait till you debut that thing, because if there ever was a drink that was made for me, it's that one. I can't wait for the people to see that, but I won't spoil it. We will also tell you, no Chance mock right now, but Chance is on his way. Chance had to work a little late tonight. He is going to be here, and hopefully will bring us the Mock 5 Top 5. In honor of the new Texas men's basketball coach, we're going to get Chance's 5 favorite basketball movies tonight. So jump on in, get going, and S-Rone told us to hurry up. I'm assuming that's what it is, right? Hurry up. Yeah, hurry up.
I was busy crafting not the greatest cocktail I've ever made, because turns out I was out of Coke and Diet Coke and Coke Zero. So we went with brown water and regular Dr. Pepper. It's an interesting concoction, but that's what took so long, Ron. I had to make a beverage.
That is excellent. I, too, have a beverage tonight. Bo, I am still in my honeymoon phase with pineapple Deep Eddy vodka. I can't get away from it. Pineapple Deep Eddy vodka and a little coconut sparkling water. Oh, my. Tasty. Tasty stuff. New flavor of Deep Eddy vodka is out there, in case you guys don't know. Chris Bennett giving us a what up, guys, tonight, and also starting something that I didn't know was a thing. Chris Bennett, really? They're calling him Fat Sark? Is that really the nickname that the new basketball coach has already gotten? Can he take the next step? Well, considering Texas only has made the second weekend of the NCAA tournament once since 2008, yes, he can. You know what, Chris Bennett? Just uncalled for. Uncalled for. But they are saying, Bo, in fact, not that they, CDC said it at the press conference to introduce Sean Miller. He called him Sark's doppelganger in front of everybody to Sark. So CDC started it.
Is it the color of the hair or the low hairline? I guess I don't see the resemblance.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think of it necessarily.
Now that you say that, the career arcs have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Star player, semi-mid-major team, had a couple moments of glory on ESPN back when that was the sports station. You know, Sean Miller was the one that threw the alley-oop to Jerome Lane when you got to send it in Jerome.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said it. I didn't know that till this week, Bo. I did not realize that was him. That's crazy.
Sark had a great play against your Texas A&M Aggies in a bowl games for the BYU.
Wait, hold on. If you're going to say it, you might as well be completely honest. Sark didn't have a play against my Aggies. They thrashed my Aggies that day in 96. You know it's true. You can say it. He had a day. He had a game. He didn't have a play. They killed the Aggies.
I was trying to be gentle.
You don't need to
I
be
didn't want
gentle on
I
that
didn't
one.
want you to have nightmares about Sark eviscerating
Oh,
your team. I just wanted you to remember one pass.
dude, I'm telling you, that one, whew, that was
But
unbelievable.
beyond those blips of glory, the highlight reel plays, they went way up real fast, like when Sark was at USC and then at Washington, and he was the golden boy, and then it went off the rails due to things of their own nature. With Sark, we'll just let it be. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Miller, it was doing what everybody does now with NIL, but then it was kind of frowned upon, especially when the FBI has to get involved to arrest you. And, guys like NBA All-Star Chuck Person, who, had to go serve jail time for, things that transpired in that whole mess with DeAndre Ayton and Adidas, etc. Their careers had an arc, but where did they come to be saved? The Holy Land, the University of Texas. That's why they're similar.
All shall be washed in the waters of Town Lake. Is that what you're saying?
Well, more like the fountain just out underneath the tower that
the Littlefield
passage that some of us have swam in after victories.
Have you done a lap or two in the Littlefield fountain?
I jumped in the Littlefield fountain.
Hey, but Bo, one of my favorite legends at the University of Texas is the Littlefield fountain. You know the legend of the horses, right?
No.
The horses at the Littlefield fountain will come to life when a virgin graduates from the University of Texas.
Well, luckily for me, that didn't happen.
Right? That's one of the greatest things I've ever heard at a school. It was fantastic. First time a Longhorn told me that. It was good. All right. If you guys want to jump in the chat, feel free. We're going to talk some Sean Miller tonight and whatever else you want to get into. And again, Chance will join us as soon as he can. So, Bo, you were laying some of it out here. Sean Miller does the press conference this week. It's funny. Anwar was kind of bored by the press conference, but I expect to be bored on some level at a press conference. All I need you to do is just don't fall all over yourself and be effective. Be effectively boring. I thought he was. And, it wasn't the most dynamic press conference I've ever seen, but I thought he did a pretty good job. Did you get to see it? And what'd you think?
I saw some clips from it, but if you've seen anything about Sean Miller, he's not like hyperbolic. He's not like going to pack the gym with his enthusiasm. That's not what he's there for. He's there to win basketball games. And Texas and CDC believes, in my opinion, he doesn't need a show for basketball. He's got the Moody Center, brand new. If it's a sport where only 5 guys are on the court, and if you get a couple NBA lottery picks like a Trey Johnson, you'll pack the house and you can win. You need a coach that can do all the other things that gets you trophies. Like at the end of the day, Sean Miller can recruit with NIL money or whatever else because he's proven he can do it for a very long time. They didn't hire Sean Miller to sell an extra 5,000 tickets to the Moody Center. Like there are coaches you hire for the show and there are coaches you hire to win. If they wanted the show, there were plenty of other coaches out there not named Sean Miller they could have attacked.
Well, and the other thing that's good, I think, for you and all the fans watching, I've been saying it for so long. I mean, you guys have just been in this arid valley of offense for so long. Y'all have gone with like defensive mind after defensive mind, tough, hard-nosed coach after tough, hard-nosed. And finally, it's a guy. Now, at one point in his career, he brought it up. He might have been thought of as a defensive guy, but he's more upbeat now, more fast-paced. He talked about it, a little more of that offensive style where you're going to get up and down the floor a little bit. It won't be Pender's, Bo, but at least it's going to be a little more offensive. I think that's great for the Moody Center, and that's what college basketball to me has to be. You cannot try to live like Virginia and Wisconsin lived, especially a few years ago with Wisconsin, and Virginia, I guess, is still doing it. But to me, that is not the way to get Texas fans, energized about basketball.
No, there's only one way. As a longtime Longhorn fan, as a graduate of the University of Texas, there's only one way to get Texas fans energized about Texas basketball. Win the damn games. Like, that's it. If you're 20-plus win team every year in the SEC, if it's built the same way it is this year, and you're going to Sweet 16s, Texas fans will be all on board with it. Texas fans have been waiting for the basketball team to be something to be proud of. It just hasn't been. And when Rick Barnes was there, it was. And let's be real, Rick Barnes wasn't exactly a carnival barker when it came to selling tickets. Like, he was not Mr. Personality. You know, he wasn't Ric Flair out promoing for the UT basketball team.
No, he wasn't.
No, but he won games. And he got athletes that could do that. Kevin Durant wasn't a vocal showpiece. Neither was DJ Augustine. Neither was a lot of the stars that Rick Barnes recruited. And TJ Ford didn't want to necessarily be a star. He was just infectious and became one, but he wasn't a showboat. Like, Texas has been a great program that packed the stands with or without those personalities. At Texas, it's about winning, period. If you're competitive, people will come and watch. There's no other game in town. Sorry, Austin Spurs.
Well, and Rex, I agree with you. Take Virginia's wins and Wisconsin's wins. Personally, I'm just saying, if it's my team, I just would rather not try to win every game 52-48. But you don't have to worry about that part. That's not what Sean Miller wants to do. They're going to get up and down the floor a little bit more than that. And, there's a lot of things in his resume. I like Bo. Regular season conference titles, I always look for those. The fact that he's taken multiple teams, getting past the first round is a big deal. Like 12 of the 15 teams do that. That's a minimum kind of thing. But then 4 Sweet 16s and 5 Elite 8s and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, he had an 08 at Xavier, an Elite 8 run where he's a 3 seed, and he eventually got taken out by a 1. So living up to your seed, you're going to get – sometimes a 1 seed's going to beat you. He talked about almost getting to the Final Four, a couple times, and a play doesn't go his way. That's kind of that next step for me, Bo, but you said it. Sweet 16, where we are right now, you and I are talking the Wednesday before they –
all Texas fans truly want is the desire to pick Texas to go further in their bracket and actually have a realistic chance. Like, how many Longhorn fans put their bracket down to start this bracket picking season and legitimately thought about putting Texas anywhere past maybe the play-in game?
No, right. You want to be able to –
you want to have the confidence that your team can go on a run. I can remember as a young person when Penders was coaching, picking a 10-seed Texas to make a little run and it was luck. I was young, but because you felt like you had a chance because you'd watch that team and they could shoot and they could score. They may have gotten outran, and ended up losing 110 to 106, but you felt like they can make some buckets.
Right.
If you score a lot, you can get away with occasionally losing or bad losses. It's when you play a defensive brand that is boring as shit. And as I like to call them when we talk about football, the pickle games.
Yep.
Texas basketball at various points under Barnes and Shaka Smart were pickle fests. They were trying to make it like they were playing in glue. And it's no fun to watch. If you're going to play that style, you have to win.
Yeah.
And that's not what Miller's bringing to the table.
Yeah, here's a good stat from Rex. Sean Miller's been to 8 Sweet 16s. Texas as a program has been to 12. That one's good. And then this still gets me. Chris Bennett's throwing this stuff in. Kevin Durant couldn't get to the second weekend. Thank you, Chris Bennett, for pointing it out. I was about to say, Bo, the silly stat that Chris Bennett has thrown out that blows my mind, that no one and done at Texas has ever been to the Sweet 16. Like, that stat, it's just as it sits there, it's so wild to me.
As the person who at that time with Kevin Durant thought it'd be a great idea because that team was going to go on a run, me and my lovely wife at the time, because it was around this time of year. Tomorrow is my 21st wedding anniversary, by the way. Happy anniversary, Jenny.
Well done.
We decided to spend one of our anniversaries because we like to follow the Longhorns.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing the Sweet 16, or they were playing in that round that they ended up losing to Swaggy P and USC. We flew to Atlantic City to watch it at the Trump Casino. I had a bunch of airline miles or something. Damn. And some room stuff from the casino, and we were just trying to go somewhere different than Vegas. We flew into Philly, rented a car, and drove to AC. And this was pre some of them making it better. It was rat hole AC.
Wow, that is bizarre.
We watched Texas lose to Swaggy P at the Hooters in an Atlantic City casino.
That was a good USC team, man. That was a good USC team. But one of the things about Rick Barnes that was always true, Bo, is like Rick Barnes, like he is right now, as like a higher kind of seed, he can usually live up to that. And now he's into the Sweet 16 and making a move. The problem was if he was a lower, kind of mid or lower seeded team, his record was awful. It was terrible. And in game, you never felt like you had the advantage. And that's what you hope changes with Sean Miller. And we'll watch it play out. But that's another thing you guys as Texas basketball fans have not felt for a long time, is that when a timeout is called in a big moment, you've got a coach that can figure out what needs to happen next. Well, that's what you need. That's what you need Sean Miller to be.
Yeah, we need Sean Miller to be that. But what we also need is Sean Miller needs to recruit a roster that actually plays as a roster. Mm-hmm. Like, that was Rodney Terry's biggest dilemma. And yes, he had injuries. And yes, there were different things that transpired. He didn't put the right components together to have an actual team. He just had a bunch of good players, but parts from other schools that didn't line up. Like we never had a true point guard. They tried, Mark from Arizona, Arkansas at some juncture towards the end, and it worked a little bit. But where was the unity? Like, how do we why? Like, Rodney Terry lost his job because he didn't know how to build a team. In today's current NIL world, Rodney Terry can coach basketball. Like that's the part that I hate, because Rodney Terry is a good human being. Mm-hmm. He just didn't succeed to the level that Longhorn fans wanted. And I, being one who texted numerous groups and friends that I wish I could take those little glasses off his head and step on them. But at the end of the day, he's a good dude. Like, he got his $5 million. He gets to go off into the sunset. But that's why Sean Miller was hired, because he is the kind of guy that will, if you read anything about him and his approach and his analysis and his attention to detail, Sean Miller, just because at being the coach of Xavier, had a file of 100 guys that he wanted to go get NIL transfer money to once the season ended. And now all that happened now is he went from Xavier's money to Texas's money, and Texas women when they go on recruiting trips, and everything that comes with being in Austin, Texas as a one-year mercenary rental player. Sean Miller will have no issue assembling a roster.
No, I agree with you. If y'all let us know what you think in the chat. If you want to send us a super chat, it'll go right to the top. Again, no Jason Dick tonight. And apparently Chance Mock may have forgotten about us as well. It sounded like it was just like I'll be there. I may be a couple minutes late, but like apparently it's a couple more.
Just call my name. I'll be there. Except for Chance's message was, just talk about me on YouTube and I won't be there.
And I will appear. Hopefully Chance will appear right after Bo tells you about hoodoo crawfish. Bo, I do love me some crawfish. Talk about them.
Who doesn't love crawfish? Hoodoo Crawfish is the best in Central Texas. They come to your location for corporate boils, for a big party you want to have. You scan the QR code. You hit me up on Twitter. I'll connect you to Hoodoo Crawfish. This weekend, they're at Whitestone Brewery in Liberty Hill, the Liberty Hill location. Pre-order your plates. Scan that QR code. But the bottom line is this. If you want the best crawfish cooked by real Cajuns from Louisiana that source it from Louisiana to here, it's Hoodoo Crawfish. They're born and raised in New Orleans, moved to Cedar Park, and they started Hoodoo Crawfish. It's remarkable. You want to get your crawfish fill with Hoodoo Crawfish. Scan the QR code. Hit me up on Twitter. Just message me if you want the number for Hoodoo Crawfish.
Sounds tasty. I like that idea. Nothing wrong with a crawfish boil, especially if I get to hang out at Whitestone Brewery too. Well, that's a good combo. I like that.
They got the one in Liberty Hill and the one they just switched up the run in Cedar Park.
Yeah.
Way better. Like,
dude, I got to go.
Just better.
I need to go to I've not been to the new one there, and I definitely need to go see him in Liberty Hill.
All right. The one in Cedar Park, they partnered with I don't know the name of it, but this pizza company. Mm-hmm. You remember the old Whitestone Brewery had like food trucks and things?
Yep. Right.
Full-scale Italian pizza place, sub shop in the back of the new one. So you can get your food while you're drinking your beer. They got TVs everywhere. I think Tom McKay and his crew all did their thing. And then you can go on when they're out there, get some hoodoo crawfish.
That's a good deal right there. That's good stuff. All right, Outsiders, again, brought to you by PonchoOutdoors.com. Check them out. Hopefully, Chance will jump in here. We are talking basketball movies tonight in honor of Sean Miller, the next Texas men's basketball coach, the new Texas men's basketball coach, I should say. Bo, since Chance is not here, I will throw it out to the chat. If you guys have some of your favorite basketball movies that you want to throw out, please do. Bo, do you have any special feeling kind of movies that you want to hear Chance Mock say in this top 5?
Well, I made my list, and there's a couple that I'm going to save until Chance gets here because I don't want to take what might be his.
Okay.
I was a huge fan of Blue Chips.
Well, Shaq, Nick Nolte.
Shaq, Nick Nolte, Ricky Rowe, the whole, like.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. I saw it in the last couple of years. I didn't see it back then, but yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, apparently some of our chatters have attended the Whitestone. It's 600 Degrees Pizza.
Oh, there you go. 600 Degrees Pizza is their partner. Good pie.
Don't ruin the surprise, Chris Bennett. We've been trying.
Oh, yes. I won't even throw that one up.
That's number one. Like everything else is crap after that.
Yeah, just for a second. Just for that long. Just for that long. Here's all I know. I said it today on House Divided. I will say it right now. If he does not say the words Teen Wolf, I riot. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
My favorite basketball movie of all time is Teen Wolf. If Scott Howard and Boof and Styles and Nick and Chubby are not a part of this thing, I'm going to be very upset.
Well, see, the one I'm going to be very upset, and I'm guessing it's probably not in Chance's, but he's an animal lover. Mm-hmm. It's Air Bud.
Oh, come on,
Bo. Not Air Bud 2, but Air Bud was awesome.
Okay, Bo, I'm 50 years old now. Would you actually tell me to sit down and watch Air Bud?
Oh, yeah.
Where a dog plays basketball? That's the premise? A golden retriever plays basketball?
It's a whole storyline, though. Like, there's human interaction, and it makes you feel good.
Well, I assume it's not a whole bunch of dogs playing basketball. I assume there's a person in the movie. Oh, my God.
Okay. Air Bud. Hold on. I'm gonna, since he's not here, I'm gonna do a Chance and hold my phone up to the screen.
Yes, please do. Please do. Yes, please. Yes. Show me a scene from Air Bud, but please hold your phone up.
I was showing you a text from Chance.
Oh, okay.
He wants to do that, but I'm not as sophisticated as Chance.
What is Chance telling us?
He's 8 minutes from his house. He has to turn on his computer.
Wow.
He's throwing out his list right now for the Mach 5 top 5, and then we can discuss when he gets back.
So he's giving it to you to give to us.
I have it. So let's
go
about Integro, and then we can jump in there, and then Chance can. It's different.
All right, let's do it. So we'll get you the Mach 5 top 5, the remote version, after Bo tells you about Integro Construction Services. Let them know, Bo.
Oh, I'm letting you know this. There's a storm rolling through Austin tonight, tomorrow. Wind, hail, the whole 9 yards. There was hail on Sunday night. Roof damage, insurance claims can all be prevented by getting Nanotech spray on your roof. Integro Construction Services is the licensed dealer in Central Texas for the Nanotech technology. You've seen some of their competitors. They even had a Super Bowl ad. The difference is Nanotech has a 10-year warranty. Nanotech gives you longer life. Nanotech is the future. Blank Max is the past. Integro is the licensed dealer. It's waterproof. It's windproof. It's hailproof. And what makes the Nanotech technology so much better is the wind miles per hour that it's resistant to. Well over 100 miles an hour. It'll survive. I won't completely, but it's windproof, rainproof, hailproof. You got to go with Nanotech, with Integro Services. 987-1273 is the number. 987-1273. Call Blair and Integro Construction Services.
Bo, you know what they say about that nanotech technology? That's what Sark and Sean Miller put in their hair. Did you know that? That's what keeps it. That's what keeps it. The wind doesn't move it at all.
Hey,
All
you
right.
know what? If it gets Sean Miller to the Final Four like it has with every other coach CDC hired, yeah, I'm talking about all of them. Then
Well,
I'm in.
hey, the thumbnail we made up tonight, we put Miller up there with those three other guys for motivation. Because when you think about it, we put Sark in there, 2 straight Final Four appearances in football for Texas. We put Vic Schaefer in there, not Final Four yet, but the man has been to the national championship game in his sport twice. And then who else did we throw in? Oh, Sloss. And Sloss just played for all the marbles in baseball, has been to the championship series in Omaha. So that's the kind of level Sean Miller would love to hit. But first things first, consistent Sweet 16s. Probably a good idea. All right. Randy, I see you. I'm assuming that one's going to be mentioned. Chris Bennett, I think that one will be mentioned too. But let's get the list out first, Bo. The remote version. Chance has sent it to you. He's on his way until he gets hooked up. What is the Mach 5 top 5 basketball movies?
All right. Drum roll, please.
Yes.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Starring the GOAT, and all you LeBron James fans can kiss my ass. Space Jam. The original version, not the stupid version.
Not the
Sorry,
stupid.
I added my commentary to Chance's list.
Okay.
Number 4. The greatest pure scorer in the history of basketball. Pistol Pete.
Wow.
My neighbor Sistrunk loves that movie, but that's a whole different story.
Wait, the name. Hold on. The movie is Pistol Pete?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a movie called Pistol Pete.
Well, you're learning. This is education.
Pistol Pete.
Number
Okay.
3, and
Chance,
should be number 1, and I'm a little pissed that Chance put it at 3.
Yeah.
Chris Bennett served it up on a platter. It's Trey Parker. It's the South Park crew. It
Ooh.
is Basketball.
Basketball, a movie I've still never seen.
What
I love
is wrong with you?
I don't know. Oh, we don't have that much time. I have
You have to have a talk with your parents because you should have seen Basketball.
I love Trey and Matt. I've just not seen Basketball for some reason. I need to, but I have not seen it.
It was dumb then, it's dumb now, but all the jokes still hold, and it's perfect.
It's dumb then, and it's dumb now. Fantastic. All right.
Number 2. Blue Chips.
Okay. Look at
Shaquille
you.
O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway, Bobby Knight in a cameo.
Oh, dude.
Nick Nolte breaking all the rules even though he doesn't want to.
Let me tell you, if you can't appreciate the acting in Blue Chips, that was really what stuck out to me. The pure acting chops of Shaq and Penny, incredible.
Well,
Nick Nolte's Nick Nolte, but come on.
The third guy, and I can't remember who actually played him, but Ricky Rowe, the guy playing the Larry Bird character with the buzz cut.
Yeah.
And that was a real basketball player from like Indiana. Like he was
Blue Chips.
terrible.
Oh, it was. I didn't realize that was a real guy. Okay, gotcha.
He made Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a polished thespian.
All right. So now I think I know what's coming at number 1, but let's find out. But number 1 is what?
Number 1 is, it would appear that Chance used the same Google machine that you and I did when we were trying to find the base for this list.
Yes.
He did not go with the Gene Hackman Memoriam in Hoosiers.
Uh-huh.
He went with the Woody Harrelson, Rosie Perez,
Wow.
Billy Ho joint. White Man Can't Jump.
That is unbelievable.
He's going to his car to get his gun. It's Chance's list.
Oh my God. Okay, so since we did make a graphic up, let's just make sure you understand. That was your Mach 5, top 5, presented by Integro Construction Services.
Although it really doesn't hold the same validity when it's not narrated by Mach 5.
Oh my God. Now we have to pick it apart. Jason Dick is not here to make that first step of picking it apart. Let me just understand what just happened. Chance reveals his top 5 basketball movies, and Hoosiers and Teen Wolf aren't on there. What? Chance, I would have let you leave Scott Howard off as long as you put Hoosiers in there somewhere, but no Hoosiers either. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Do you not understand? Okay, imagine you're trying to figure out life in high school. You're trying to figure out who you are as a person, and you're trying to lead a basketball team. And then you find out your entire family's a bunch of werewolves. Do you realize what kind of challenge that is?
Especially when you have Parkinson's.
That is, he didn't have Parkinson's then. What are you, stop it. What are you talking about? He didn't have Parkinson's then. Oh my God. That is terrible. How dare you talk about Scott Howard and his shaky jump shot? That is rude.
I knew you were going there. I've been thinking of that joke for a week.
That's well done. As my favorite, it's my favorite basketball movie, and I would find a way to work it in. But I understand people have their own tastes and stuff. But I'm a fan of the movie, mainly Bo, because it does feature Coach Finstock and my favorite advice ever given in a movie, Scotty. There's 3 rules that I live by. Never get less than 12 hours sleep. Never go near a woman that's got a tattoo of a dagger on her body. And never play cards with a guy that's got the same first name as a city. You stick with that, and everything else is cream cheese. I mean, how do you not love Teen Wolf? Come on. Come on.
You have to have that discussion with the man himself if he doesn't get in a truck accident.
Oh, I will. Now I know why. Now I know. It's because he didn't want to stand up for his list. It's because he threw some Pistol Pete documentary and Space Jam and then made White Men Can't Jump #1. Oh, okay. My Lord. Well, really?
He left off Air, which was a great movie.
Air was a good movie. I saw that one. That's a solid movie, too.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. I mean, we're talking good stuff.
Man.
And he left off the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon classic film, The Air Up There, where Kevin Bacon goes to Africa.
That is so far south of a bad movie. South of a good movie. Oh my Lord. That one's not great.
So you've seen that one, but you haven't seen basketball?
I know, it's sad. ATX Bates threw us a super chat, $4.99 from House Divided. I just wanted to mention that Jonah Williams should be played by Sean Taylor. You know what, Bates? You are consistently awful, but that's why we love you. Basketball movies suck compared to other sports movies. Bates, it is a tough sport sometimes to put into a movie. Sports movies are tough enough to make. Basketball ones are tough. Bo, you said it. It's like you and I both ended up doing the same Google search because we were trying to think of like 5 great ones. That's what I was thinking of. Like, have I seen 5 great basketball movies? Like,
I haven't seen 3 great basketball movies.
Like, I'm willing to admit what I've stated here tonight. If I'm telling you Teen Wolf is in my top 5, it tells you the basketball movies maybe that I have and have not seen. Because I've probably seen 5 if we add them up. I would definitely have Hoosiers and Teen Wolf in my 5, and then I'm not sure where I would go after that. So, right. Yeah, well, I don't.
Let's put a pin in the conversation because by my clock, that's 12 minutes. So we'll see how late Mr. Mach 5 is going to be.
All right, we can do that while we're waiting
this debate with him because I want to talk to you about spring football that just started. Pro Day that just finished. So let's tell them about Last Stand hats, and then we can move on to that.
Well, I was going to say, not only football going on, Bo, but there's a little bit going on out at the Dish. I'm not sure if people realize, but
hell yeah.
The baseball team's pretty good, and Last Stand Hats is taking a little bit of credit. The post from the weekend, not saying it's the new hat and apparel drop from Occupy Left Field that secured the series win, but we're also aren't saying it. If you love yourself some Occupy Left Field, you love yourself some Texas baseball, and you love Last Stand, it's the perfect blend of all of that. You've seen Bo rocking the Occupy Left Field Last Stand hat before. It's a new line of them that are out, and you see different color designs, different ways to go there. Go check out Last Stand hats, and we will get you, in fact, I will get you a QR code here in just 1 second. But Texas baseball taking the series from LSU. Also in the midweek game yesterday, Jonah Williams did get his, it was mentioned earlier on the show, Jonah Williams got his first at bat. But there's your Last Stand hats. Remember, Outsiders 10, if you want to get a little code going on for maybe those Outsiders hats or go after the Occupy Left Field stuff. They have all kinds of new stuff for you right now. So check them out. Last Stand hats. Use that code Outsiders10.
Outsiders 10. They got plenty of baseball gear. They even have some baseball apparel. Last Stand Hats is your place to go.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Shout out to Last Stand. And hey, shout out to that baseball team taking the series from LSU. And if you are following the whole Jim Schlossnagle story coming to Texas, as we are talking, today's 30 days until the Texas A&M series in Austin. Bo, the Aggies are 0-6 to start SEC play. It's not just kind of bad. It's all sorts of bad for the Aggies, while it is all sorts of good for Texas. My Lord, that coaching that coaching move could not have gone better for Texas. And right now, worse for A&M.
I think the word you're looking for is theft, because we came into your house and stole your prized possession, and he's happier to be in our house than he ever was in yours.
Oh,
but that's neither here nor there.
That is so rude.
What it does, though, is it illustrates the point in today's college athletics, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, you name the sport, women's basketball. If you get an A-plus coach and give him the tools and resources of facilities and NIL dollars and an athletic director that has your back, you can flip the script in a year. That doesn't mean Texas is going to run the table and go win the College World Series, but they're relevant. They were relevant with David Pierce. And by the way, congrats to Coach Pierce for picking up the job at Rice.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That Rice fired Jose Cruz Jr. about a week and a half ago, mid-season, didn't like what was going on.
Pierce. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Pierce was working as a analyst. I don't know what the actual title was.
Was it Texas State, right?
It was at Texas State.
Yeah.
And Rice gave him the call. That was always one of his dream jobs, going back to when he coached there with Coach Graham. And whatever your opinion was of David Pierce here at Texas, he took us to multiple College World Series. He took us to a Final Four in the College World Series. And he was a great leader of men. Coach Pierce is a friend of mine, and congrats to him for getting the Rice job. But when he left, it wasn't working at the moment. And that should be a message at major institutions. Chad, let Chance in. He's in the waiting room.
Well, I'm waiting for you to stop talking, and I'll bring Chance in.
Okay. Well,
if you finish your point, we'll bring Chance in. We got to, it's got to be a big moment.
You don't have time to wait 3 to 5 years for a coach to get his sea legs under him, or when you're Rodney Terry and you spiked in year 1, but by year 3, the program feels flat. You just have to make a move, because a new coach can be dynamic and change it like that with NIL dollars like that.
All right, Bo, I'm feeling a little bit like Vince Young in the early days. Things don't feel quite right. I think we need to go to this guy. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Mach 5 is here. What's up, Chance?
I made it. I worked very hard to get here as fast as I could.
Okay. Oh. I do know one thing. You certainly were not working hard on your top 5. Let me understand what I have just heard. You wanted to get this out through Bo while you weren't here, because you could not have sat there and seriously given us Space Jam, Pistol Pete, basketball, I'll give you, Blue Chips, and then White Man Can't Jump is not only there, but it's one chance. Your favorite basketball movie that's ever been made is White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah, because really? I was a white man that could. I felt like it was the biggest anomaly ever. It was awesome.
Fair enough. Okay. Let me just ask.
I'm a white dude with a 41-inch vertical. I can enjoy White Men Can Jump.
You're a white man that had a 41-inch vertical. You aren't one now.
My argument would be this. My argument is we cannot call ourselves a top 5, Mach 5 top 5 if Hoosiers isn't in there somewhere.
Hoosiers was in there.
I love me some Teen Wolf, and I would argue for Teen Wolf, but I get that that's a little silly. So even if you don't need Scott Howard in there, we got to get Chitwood in there. We got to get Hoosiers in
you somewhere. Can absolutely replace, because Hoosiers was supposed to be in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we put Hoosiers at like 4? Like, I've never heard of a movie called Pistol Pete.
It's not called Pistol Pete. The actual name of the movie is The Pistol.
Oh, The Pistol. It's like a story of Pistol Pete.
It's it's called The Pistol, Birth of a Legend. I watched it. It was probably a late 80s, early 90s movie. That's where I learned about Pistol Pete dribbling basketballs on the railroad tracks,
Okay.
Ended with him dying on the floor, and it was sad for everybody.
Damn. Spoiler alert. Okay, so all right. So if you want,
I feel like we're past the part where most people know how Pistol Pete went out.
okay, man, maybe right.
Probably not a spoiler.
Spoiler alert: the Titanic thing. Okay,
We're
so
past the point where most true sports fans don't even know who Pistol Pete was.
okay, so I would just say I don't know which one to replace it with. I'm just saying if we can shoehorn, you can leave Pistol Pete in there if you want. We got to shoehorn Hoosiers in there somewhere.
I would put, just because y'all don't know it, I would say Hoosiers goes to 4 and replace the Pistol Pete story.
Okay, we're putting Hoosiers in at number 4. Okay.
Out of deference to the fact that I really don't care about basketball movies enough to fight it. The arbiter of truth, the floor is yours. You get to complete the list, and the fact that Air Bud is not on there is absolute blasphemy.
See, this is
I never liked Air Bud.
This will be sad. This is gonna be sad for everybody. If I'm the arbiter of truth here, first off, Air Bud, if it had been in Bo, it would have been out very quickly. I can't put a dog playing basketball in as a top 5. Now, this is where I'm looking at the list. I'm trying to respect people's wishes because to me, Scott Howard and his team could destroy any cartoon or real players in Space Jam.
I'm all for getting rid of Space Jam.
I am not a Space Jam guy. But then I feel like if I replace Space Jam with Teen Wolf, I haven't really done much in some people's minds. But you know what? I am the what am I? The arbiter of truth?
Arbiter of truth.
I am the arbiter of truth. Dadgummit. Scott Howard, you are in. Wolf up, wolf out. Whatever you do, you're going to number 5. MJ's out. We're going Hoosiers at 4. I'll leave basketball because I love those guys. And Blue Chips at 2. White Men Can't Jump at 1. I'll leave it. I got the 2 in. I needed to.
Hold on. Did either of you, was it which one of you said that you couldn't believe Blue Chips?
I said I love Blue Chips. It was on my list.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go all the way to 2, but I like Blue Chips. No,
I thought Blue Chips was freaking great.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I've also seen, what's the other one I saw?
You're just being culturally biased, as Shaquille O'Neal said about the SAT test.
Right. No, I dig Blue Chips. I also saw above, is it called Above the Rim?
Above the Rim.
I think that's one I've seen, right?
Here's my question, though. So I had to call my brother on the way home to ask him. I was like, theoretically, do you feel like I could put grown-ups in there since the culmination of the end of the movie was playing a basketball game?
Wow. I don't think you can count that as a basketball movie.
Well, you're counting Teen Wolf as a basketball movie, and basketball's just a part of what they do.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? I mean, okay, here's what I'll say, Chance.
Who's the fat guy in that movie?
If you tried that one, I'd take it out too because I'm not a grown-ups guy. Who's the fat guy in Grown-Ups?
The fat guy that was in Teen Wolf.
Oh yeah, Chubby. I don't know his name. He was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure too.
In Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's the one that had a swimming pool for a bathtub.
Yeah, Francis. Yeah.
Exactly. Can we talk about something else? The baseball team, spring football,
maybe.
So real quick, because I listened to you talk. So the Pierce thing was kind of hard because I couldn't tell anybody. I knew a little bit early just because I have some friends that were involved in that. And it was a very exciting. It's exciting for all them. But what's really exciting is that Rice is going up to, we all saw that Texas is going to 25. Is that correct? 25 in baseball or 24?
I think you're right. 25. It's somewhere up. It's like 20,
and Rice,
I think that's right.
So part of him coming over is that Rice is going up to 22 next year. So that was part of Pierce coming over is that they're going up to 22 scholarships for baseball at Rice.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that they almost doubled from the 11.75 up to 23.
Wow, that is big. Our man ATX Bates threw us a super chat, $4.99. Golf has a better top 5. We'll have to do that sometime.
It'll be.
Happy Gilmore, Caddyshack, Bagger Vance, Tin Cup, Gilmore.
I feel like Bates, here's the thing. I feel like there's so many great golf movies. Like we need an entire episode of The Outsiders to debate the top 5 best golf movies. There's a bunch of them.
Well, we might need to separate drama and comedy.
Yeah.
Right? True. Maybe go funny golf movie versus serious golf movie. By the way, have you guys seen the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 yet?
The pool pond.
Pond's better for you, yeah. Have you guys seen that trailer, Chance? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Are you in?
I'm in. I think it's going to be great.
I'm in. I'm always scared of these sequels because really I can't think of the last one that actually lived up. But man, I think they might do this. It just
Here's where I think
I had a good feeling watching it.
See, I think this is like the opposite of Dumb and Dumber. So Dumb and Dumber waited too long for a sequel, and
Agreed.
it kind of ruined it.
Mhm.
But I feel like the gap between the original Happy Gilmore and now, I think it actually gives it time to be separate. I think it's
Okay.
I think it's going to be good.
Well,
Hey,
the concept of Happy Gilmore allows it to have that marination period and come back because it's not meant to be serious. It's not meant to be real golf. It's meant to be funny. So however you play it up with Adam Sandler as an older man, it's still believable. Like,
Well, but this time, if you caught the trailer, Bo, which I think is hilarious, is that this time the game of golf has evolved so much since the original Happy Gilmore came out that they make it a point to be like, oh my God, all these guys can hit it this far now.
Right. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like they had Bryson and like they had, but the cameos in this movie,
it should be,
will make it worth watching because so many of the guys that are the stars of golf now were fans of Happy Gilmore. Like they watched it growing up, probably smoked weed with their buddies on a couch and, watched Happy Gilmore 20 times.
Some of these guys probably weren't alive when Happy Gilmore was born.
It's going to be good.
You saw that Scheffler's in it, Bryson's in it, Rory's in it. Like,
and most importantly, Shooter McGavin's
I think Ricky's in it.
Most important.
Oh yeah.
Who else is in it, Chance?
Fowler's
in. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. I really am looking for. It's a Netflix only movie, I think, coming out a little bit later this year. All right. Let's Chance. Now that you're here, now that you've had a chance to catch your breath and admit that your basketball list was, suspect.
It was not my best Mach 5 top 5.
What?
What happens when you do the Mach 5 top 5 in your truck driving home from work?
That's what it is. He was typing with one thumb. All right, Chance, why don't you tell them about Arch Public and what's going on over there?
Oh man, Arch Public and those guys, what they're doing, as we've talked about, is the Bitcoin algorithm. That's the thing that they're really pushing right now. If you're interested in Bitcoin, if you don't know much about Bitcoin, but you've heard people talk about it, it's a hedge against inflation. It's a great tool to have in your financial toolbox, something you should talk to your financial advisor about. But if you have questions on Bitcoin, you want to understand what it does, you want to understand how it works and how Arch Public stuff works, that you could add some Bitcoin to your portfolio, just reach out and give them a call. Tell them you heard about them right here on The Outsiders. Say, Chance keeps saying, I just need to talk to you. My uncle, unfortunately, we buried him last week. He passed away 2 weeks ago. And it's been a rough couple of weeks, but he always used to say, always take the meeting. So if you've had questions about Bitcoin, if you've thought, is it right for me? Is this something I don't understand it? I hear about it. I'm interested. I'm intrigued, but I just don't know if it's for me. Well, you know what? Go have a conversation. Educate yourself on it. Visit with your financial advisors, and then decide if it's the right thing for you. But if it's something that you do have an interest in, even just to learn about it, scan that QR code, or shoot me a message over on X, and I'll hook you up directly with Tillman. Him and his team, Andrew over there, they can take care of you. They will get you set up. They will talk to you. They'll talk you through it. And then the decision falls on you. They don't ever pressure. All they want to do is provide the tools for you to make a good decision. So Arch Public, reach out to those guys or reach out to me and I'll get you set up. Check it out. Bitcoin's making a lot of moves. There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of money to be made right now because you can buy it right. Arch Public and those guys, feel free, give me a shout. I will make sure that I get you in touch.
There you go. Always take the meeting. Sorry to hear that, Chance.
That's wrong. No.
All the best to your family. Which side of the family are we talking about for this uncle?
He's one of the ones that lives here in the Woodlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mom's side or dad's side?
Mom's.
Okay. Damn, man. That's sorry to hear that. All the best to the family. Let's see. Oh God, Randy, is the ghost of Bob Barker going to be?
The problem is our chatters. There's a few of them that all share. I'm sorry to lump you in with this crowd, Chris Bennett, because you really are cool, and I'm glad your surgery went well, as we told you on Twitter. But the same culprits come in with the same comments every time.
Well, Bates,
it's a dead person.
Bates is the lead caster.
As soon as you brought up Happy Gilmore, dead Bob Barker was reprising his role.
ATX Bates is the master of the dead.
You know who's going to be Happy Gilmore's Pro-Am partner in this one? Drew Carey. Bob Barker's dead. Let's just throw Drew Carey in there. Price of
Oh,
bitch.
I see what you did there. Well done. Well
You know,
done.
you may have just written the damn script. I bet that wouldn't shock me if that's how it rolled out.
Yeah. By the way, Chance, any chance that this is possible?
No.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
Tom Brady.
I actually
Stephon
don't-
Diggs.
I don't want to hear
No,
that. Actually,
Diggs
no.
isn't going anywhere. And anybody that wants to pay him $23 million a year coming off an ACL at 33 years old is impressive.
That's the Patriots. Hey,
Yeah.
but
I
Chris
was-
Bennett was nice enough to share with me on Twitter that the Titans, in a world where everyone is making moves, signed backup quarterback Tim Boyle today.
So can I ask you a question, Bo?
Tim Boyle.
Giddy up, boys. Trophies are coming.
That's right. Hey, okay, so Bo, let me ask you this question because I heard this rattled around with a couple of different guest callers that called in today to WGR. If you're the Titans, you have a lot of needs right now. This quarterback class is not necessarily, I mean, there's some good quarterbacks in there, but I don't know that there's any you just necessarily want to hang your franchise hat on coming out of the. Would it make sense for them to package it, try to do something like what the Texans did a couple years ago, scoot back, get some more players in the top 15, trade away that one, and try to bolster what they're doing? Because I don't see anybody that's in the draft that they can walk in tomorrow and is going to solve their problems.
That would be a great plan, but there's no team that's going to give up that kind of draft capital for the quarterbacks that are out there. Like you saw it in the messaging from the Titans. Right when they got the number one pick, we're looking for the transitional player that will help us. Doesn't matter whether it's a quarterback or not. We want to find the best guy, which probably meant they were looking at Travis Hunter. And then some people thought they were talking about Abdul Carter. Now it's Cam Ward because no one will trade up for these quarterbacks. They're trying to inflate value into Cam Ward. You can see it. It's an obvious, we want Cam Ward. He's our guy, to where somebody will try to come up and get him, but there's nobody. Like, there's no quarterback that's good enough to come up to one and give up what they want, especially because there are other teams that will trade draft capital later to allow you to have it. Like the teams that need quarterbacks are the Browns and the Giants, and the Browns can't afford anybody, and the Giants suck, and they just traded for 2 starting quarterbacks that are no good. So
the Browns are they're in a whole. You know how much it would. You know what dead cap hit they would take if they got after June 1st if Deshaun wasn't on the roster.
Oh, it's like 88 million or 89 million.
It's almost $90 million dead cap hit.
Good God, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to massage.
And then they just tied up a bunch of money with Myles Garrett, who said, "I want to go win a championship." I'm sorry.
Well, I did love this, Chad. I was on Orange Bloods right before the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know those fake Twitter accounts that throw out outlandish crap just to see what happens?
Yes.
Somebody on Orange Bloods took one of those like it was real, and it turned into like 100 thread. Because somebody on one of those fake Twitter accounts, and I know the account because it's the same one like a couple weeks ago that said the Titans were trading Tony Pollard for to the Raiders to get the pick to draft Ashton Genty. Okay, no, That's never happening. Okay,
that is a fantastic rumor. So right now,
this
Bo,
rumor was the Cowboys were going to trade Dak Prescott to the Browns for the 2 pick.
No,
so the Cowboys could take Shedeur Sanders, and then everybody's hopes would come true.
Right now,
the Browns could afford Dak Prescott. The Browns would just have to cease operations if they picked up that albatross of a contract. That's how you know it's fake.
Right now, Bo, if you could have either Cam Ward or they trade back, what do you want them to do?
I would rather them trade back because they need lots of pieces. But if all they can get is a first this year and a second next year.
I don't think that's where it goes. Like, I think you get, like, the Bills have 15 picks, 16 picks this year. You know, there's a bunch of teams out there that have been collecting picks. If they traded back from 1 to 18 and got like a 62nd and a second next year, So you go back to 18, you got 62nd, you get an additional second next year. I just think that there's so much work that the Titans need. Like,
but all their moves are
where do you start?
They're telling you they're drafting a quarterback at this point. Like, they can't go into next year with only Will Levis on the roster. Like, you can't.
They've now.
Oh, I'm sorry, they signed Tim Boyle. So, I mean,
you and Tim Boyle can.
Boyle's there.
But, like,
Boyle's ready to go. All right.
The Titans need a lot more help than that. So I hope they trade the pick. But if they draft Cam Ward, then call me Cam Ward fan. Like, you got to go with it.
I mean, I will say this. I think Cam Ward is, and this sounds really weird because I actually think Jackson Dart is number 2, but I think Cam Ward's probably the most ready to play right now of the group. I think when you look at Shedeur, and let's take personalities out of it, Shedor's had one coach his whole life. One. That's an interesting thing that he's going to have to come when he gets to a new team. Number 2, he doesn't have an incredibly strong arm. He is athletic in the pocket to move the pocket, but he's not like a great athlete per se, if you will. He's not huge. Like, I think Shedeur he's got the raw tools, but I think he's more of a project than people think.
Well, I think he's more of a project because he's been allowed to have the mistake. He hasn't been coached out of the mistakes that he made in his college career because he was having to put a team on his back in most cases with no offensive line. And he was he was coached.
He didn't play quarterback.
So what?
He played 7-on-7.
Huh?
He didn't play quarterback. He played 7-on-7. He had no help. So it was drop back, move around, try to buy enough time to get the ball out of your hand.
Cam Ward, this is why I'm okay if the Titans end up taking Cam Ward. Cam Ward has proven to me that he has winning characteristics, whether that's in his own life, going from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami, always moving up, always believing in himself, always leading teams to more victories than they had before. Even with the Miami Hurricanes, he almost had them in the playoffs. He makes the guys around him better too. Like, he can get down, he can come back. The Titans need somebody like that. That's why, like, if it was Shedeur, I'd be no, because he hasn't proven to me that he's a team guy. But I think Cam Ward could be a good quarterback. I just don't know if the Titans have the roster to make it happen. By the way, pour out a little for Razor. His favorite team traded his favorite player to Chad's wife's Steelers.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that? I don't want to go to – I want to go somewhere where it's better temperatures. So I'm going to Pittsburgh.
And they still haven't found him a quarterback to throw him the ball.
They found him. He's busy doing ayahuasca and hadn't signed yet.
Yeah. I mean, and what's going to happen? That whole the whole New Jersey corridor. So now we got Russ and Jameis Winston, who is Jameis Winston at the Super Bowl is probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, with the yacht, when he's like, how are we getting on this yacht? We got to get on the yacht. Can we get on the yacht? How are we going to get on this yacht? Like, so good. Him pedicabing and singing to people while he's driving through the streets of New Orleans. Great. But they've got to deal with Russ. Then you got Fields, who went to the Jets, right? So now you've got Shedeur supposedly going to the Giants, and then they're going to have Winston, Russ, and Shedeur. Like, it's just a shit show right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. They're piling up quarterbacks like crazy. They're the only thing, Chance, making me kind of smile in the NFC East, because those other two teams freak me out as a Cowboys fan. At least the Giants still feel weird.
Well, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I don't know what you're doing, because you've got some big money guys that are now going to have to get paid coming up, and you're in a conference with, I mean, the Eagles. Nobody's better at pushing money out than the Eagles. Like, their voided years are incredible. What they're doing, insane. They've drafted incredibly well.
You don't need to bring up actual stuff. You don't need to talk the actual stuff. I'm just telling you the Giants still feel weird. That's all I think.
Terrible.
That's what
But the Commanders and the Eagles, both of them are, I mean, that's a tough division.
But yeah, no, they both feel good. All right, we've ended up in a football conversation. We'll continue that coming up. Before we do, Bo, let's tell them a little bit about Star Ranch. There's been some damn good weather depending on the day. Like you mentioned earlier, it's going to rain a little bit the next day or so, but that'll just get Star Ranch in better shape.
That's just setting it up for a weekend of awesome. Star Ranch, right there in Hutto, right off the toll road. Best greens in town. I'm not talking about just public courses. I'm talking best greens in town. Star Ranch. They roll true. They're not grainy. They're well maintained. The course, very open, very fun. It's resort style. It's not a lot of, tree line fairways. It's got some water. It's good for all time zones. You can be a scratch golfer and have a blast. You can be a mid handicapper and have a blast. You can be a high handicapper like our boy Jason Dick. No, let him tell you any different. There's a reason he plays scrambles every single weekend. Even for him, birdie's available. Even for him, well, no, Eagle's not available. But it can be available for you at Star Ranch. It's affordable. It's fun. And the best part beyond the greens is the pace of play. They actually do hit 4 hours and 15 minutes. And their marshals aren't just dudes sitting in carts waving at you. They will get you around the golf course. So it's fun. You get your rest of your weekend. 252 Golf is the number. 252 Golf is the number for the golf club at Star Ranch.
Man, Jason Dick catching strays when he's not even here about his golf game. It's just rude.
Well, he'd be the first one to tell you it's not the best.
Man, oh man. We were just talking quarterbacks. What do you guys buying into this Jackson Dart idea as the third quarterback? I'm seeing it as high as like the top 10 as the third quarterback. Y'all buy that chance?
I do. I think he's one of those guys that, number one, I think there will be an OC and a GM that'll fall in love with him. They'll fall in love with the personality. They'll fall in love with the arm strength. They'll fall in love with the mobility. Like, he does carry himself well. You were at media days for the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to interview really, really well. I think the more teams see him,
yep.
his stock's going to go up.
Okay.
Well, and the best thing that happened to Jackson Dart was Bo Nix. SEC quarterback, flashes of greatness, athletic, strong-armed, been there in a program for a while, so he's seasoned. The success of Bo Nix tells people maybe Jackson Dart can duplicate that in the right system where he's not asked to carry the weight of the world. The biggest knock on Dart is in the biggest moments of Ole Miss's season, he threw picks. Now, you watched the last pick. Did the receiver run the wrong route? Because the receiver went straight and he threw a stop. Mm-hmm. My guess is he threw the right pass and it just looked really bad. And you could see it on his face on the sidelines. Oh, he cried when he lost. Yeah, because he knew he lost the season. He knew he came back for one more year to try to win. And they lost because some receiver ran the wrong route. Maybe not. Maybe he had a bad throw. But I don't think those were tears of we lost. I think that was tears of, oh, my God, all that was for nothing. But I think an NFL team can take a chance. And the most important reason is that fifth-year option. Yeah, I mean, that people, I'm telling you, it may not happen, but it would not, whether it's Quinn or someone else, Dart will be gone before pick 31, 32. Somebody will trade up to take a quarterback just to have a quarterback under contract for an extra year. Call it the Brock Purdy principle. Call it the Jalen Hurts principle. It buys you more time with a young quarterback. Why do you think the Vikings are getting rid of Darnold, not getting Aaron Rodgers, and rolling the dice on J.J. McCarthy? You know why? Because they get 4 years of him at free. Mm-hmm. They can build a roster around that, and they just hope he's good enough.
All you have to do is look at the Cincinnati Bengals. When all those guys were on rookie deals, they were great. Made a Super Bowl run. Now they have, their payroll it's top heavy. What's Hendrickson gonna do? They can't pay him too. Their defense is garbage.
So if it does end up being Dart, the third guy, Bo, you just referenced Quinn. Where does that leave that? So then, how quick does that fourth guy get grabbed? Bo, you're thinking it's still first round?
I think there will be I'm not saying it will necessarily be Quinn Ewers because I think there's a couple other guys that have intrigue other teams as well. I think there will be a couple Quinn suitors, but at the end of the day, that fifth-year option, so you're paying your starting quarterback less than $5 million. Think of all the talent you can surround that guy with. Could you see that? Let's just say, just throwing a team out there. If you're the St. Louis Rams and you could slide up to 32 and take your next quarterback for when Stafford goes out to pasture, Who fits that system? I say it's Quinn Ewers.
Quinn
Could
Ewers.
it be someone else? Yes. You can decide who you want it to be. Or say you're a team that thinks Jalen Milroe could be your answer with his legs and that you'll figure out the passing part. You go get him at 32, just like Baltimore did when they got Lamar Jackson, because you get the extra year for free.
Yeah. Chance, did I hear that right? Did Bo say St. Louis Rams?
He did. He was.
That's who they are.
I was going to say Quinn would do really well with McVay and the Los Angeles Rams, but
he'd do a hell of a lot better with Mike Martz and the Kurt Warner era.
I didn't know we were doing top 5.
The greatest show on turf.
Well,
Kurt Warner hands it off to Quinn Ewers. Shut up.
Well, and here's the thing: is like, I think a lot of people, the first night of the NFL draft, I think is going to be more. I think it's going to be so heavily packed with defensive players this year that I think a lot of people, like the true football fans, are going to love it because we know that great defenses win championships. But I think it's not going to it doesn't have the star power that a lot of years do.
Well, and if Quinn does, like, let's this way, I think, and everybody has their own opinion, I think there's a much higher likelihood of Quinn Ewers going pick 31 or 32 than not being in the entire second round and going in the third round. Because I don't think if he goes on that front end, I don't think Quinn goes in the second round, or at least the front end of the second round, because that fifth year doesn't exist. You're not going to jump up to gamble on Quinn or any other quarterback. I mean, I'm using him as the example because we're Longhorn fans. Dart will be gone. So will the other two at the top with Cam and Shador. There will be a fourth guy. Now, whether that's Quinn or whether that's somebody that didn't watch the combine and thinks it's Will Howard or any number of guys that are – because Will Howard, there's no chance.
Let's just not talk about it. I was
People were shooting him up boards. That board broke. Like
that was bad.
Chop in it.
That was really
going there now.
That was really bad. Guys, before we head towards the exit, Bo, you mentioned spring football earlier. You want to talk a little Longhorn football? First day of spring practice. They got 2 of them under their belt.
So this is the only thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
I'm happy to be a part of any other discussion, but as far as leading a discussion, fans need to slow down. And understand, and yes, I realize we work underneath the Orange Bloods umbrella. It's practice. It's the first day of practice. The lineup isn't built today. Just because one receiver dropped a pass, it doesn't mean they need to hit the portal. Just because one guy was in a different position doesn't mean he's going to hit. Quit with freaking out and just let it be until the end of practice. Because, Chance, tell me when I'm wrong here. Coaches like to try different things over this month of spring practice. Put guys in different positions. Put guys in positions where they're going to fail to where they can learn from the mistakes and gain the skill set they're going to need for whatever roles they're going to play. So whoever's playing running back, doesn't matter who's starting at practice, whether it's Christian Clark or Jarrett Gibson or Trey Wisner, they're putting them in the positions they want to see them in. Don't worry about who's on the depth chart until the thing's over.
Wow.
They don't depth chart. That's irrelevant right now. They're seeing what they have to work with. Number one. Number two, you really can't look into anything that you hear over the next 5 days. Nothing. Because right now they don't even have pads on. So anything you're getting, wide receivers are getting free releases. They're wide open. Sometimes they're going to drop balls because they're used to being contested passes, and sometimes you can get a little lazy when you got nobody on you and the ball hits you right in the hands. Don't think about that stuff. All you want to see is, I think when you look at spring, take from it the little nuggets of things that are different, because those are the things that they're trying to improve on from last year, and they're toying with possible solutions to holes that they might have had last year. That's what they're doing. They're seeing who can fit in and play that star position, who can play boundary corner, who can play in the field, who's the better rusher. What do we do with Trey, right? What do we do with him? Is he going to stand up? Is he going to play with his hand on the ground? Are we going to move him all over the place? He's a guy that's big enough that he could play up, and then you could also put him in a 3 technique in a 2-point stance to get a rush there. There's all sorts of deals that I think you're going to see in spring. Look for those things. Look for the changes to fill to try to find they're trying to find workarounds to some of the holes we had last year. I believe that's what you're going to see a lot of.
And some of the key contributors from last year's team are sitting out due to injuries. We're not talking like blown ACLs. We're talking about injuries that happened in January when they were in the middle of a playoff run, and they need a little more time to heal. Guys like DeAndre Moore, so I saw it on Orange Bloods. We don't have a slot receiver. Go to the portal. We do have a slot receiver. He's sitting on the sideline in bike shorts cheering everybody on. Yeah. Slow down.
And they'll still go to the portal. I mean, they will still.
I'm not saying they don't go to the portal. If you got spots, do whatever the hell you want with it.
Bo,
but we can't overreact so much.
Bo, I'm not more disappointed in you than I am disappointed in Chance's basketball movies, but I am disappointed. Let these people have their feelings, all right? Arch Manning,
burger lists and
look,
discussing women and telling stories of their dating lives that aren't true. That's awesome. I love the community.
Let me explain what's happened, Bo. You were in the Quinn Ewers fan club. You would defend him from time to time. The energy among the fans has gone from why is it the quarterback's fault to whose fault is it? Because it sure ain't the quarterback. It's switched. Remember, all these people that have been saying, man, if you think they're tough on Quinn, how tough they going to be on Arch? Nope, they're not. They're not. Whatever happens, unless he throws 3 of the dumbest, silliest pick sixes that you've ever seen, it's someone else's fault.
If he went Will Levis with a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter and threw a sideways pass for no reason that was taken for a pick six to tie the game up, people would be like, receiver ran the wrong route. Arch knew where he was going with that wide receiver bubble screen. That's just on them.
They're pumped, man. They're excited.
But here's what Texas fans need to wrap their head around, because this is going to happen. When you have a gunslinger like Arch, his best attribute is that he believes in his arm and he believes he can make every throw. That can also be sometimes your worst attribute. And while he's a young player, there are going to be balls that he's going to throw that fans are just going to be like he's going to make awful throws that look completely forced, because they are forced, but it's because he believes he can make that throw. And at some point in practice, he has made that throw, but it's going to take him a little time. So I'm glad, folks, because I wasn't given that grace. So I've been on the other side of the everything's the quarterback's fault to the next guy comes in and all of a sudden nothing is his fault. Been there, done that.
Did you hear what just happened, Texas fans? You found one of your villains. If stuff starts to go weird, you know who you blame? That guy right there. Just blame him.
You blame me for enough shit over the last 25 years. I don't care.
I blame him for shit all the time.
Oh, that'll be the post we're all waiting for on Orange Bloods. It's still Chance Mock's fault after all this
Next time I go fishing and strike out, it's going to be Chance Mock's fault.
Oh my God, that is
right.
Fantastic. Yep.
When my bracket doesn't win, although it's going to, when my bracket doesn't win, that'll be Chance's fault.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of
Huh?
spring practice, if they don't get rained out tomorrow on a Thursday morning, we're going to do a special practice reaction show at 9:30 in the morning. So cross your fingers that rain goes away. But I don't think the rain's going away. I think
The
they're going.
rains are coming, buddy.
Yeah, I think they're going in the bubble. I don't think we may get any practice reports tomorrow, but we'll hope. We'll hope for it.
At least they'll be practicing dry.
Yes, we'll give it a hope. We will give it a hope. Gentlemen, is there anything else we need to hit tonight before we close up?
Nah.
All right. Chance, we are so glad that you made it. And thank you once again for a Mach 5, the top 5, brought to you by Integro Construction Services. Tonight it was basketball movies and White Men Can't Jump made it to the top of the list. It really is 3 pretty damn good performances when you just strip it all down. Like, those 3 are pretty damn good. Did you guys see the redo at all? Because I never saw it.
I refuse to watch that crap.
I did too. Yeah, I refuse to watch that, like I refuse to watch the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse, and like I refuse to watch the guys in the flying squirrel suits trying to be Point Break. I didn't watch any of those movies.
I mean, give Jake Gyllenhaal some.
Jake Gyllenhaal did okay because they didn't try to redo the exact same thing.
Okay, I stayed away from. I'm
not watching it. I can't see Brokeback Mountain and picture him as Roadhouse guy either.
So think of the
like it's a wide range. Like
Think of that Amazon Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I just don't know how to hit you. Sorry.
Well, there's that. I can't tell. The Jake Gyllenhaal one in a cheesy basketball movie kind of way was funny.
Okay.
It had Conor McGregor playing the most outlandish heel character of all time.
Was Connor any good? Was he okay?
At being a dipshit, he was freaking awesome.
Okay. All right.
Like,
You're
it's
not telling
meant
me
to be believable. Like the
you're not
first
telling me to
Roadhouse with
watch.
Patrick Swayze, perfect.
I'm not watching it.
You're not telling me to watch Roadhouse, are you? The new Roadhouse.
No, I'm just saying it's not as bad as you made it out to be.
It's not as bad. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm not
I watched
watching.
it once. I'm not watching it again.
Out of respect for Patrick Swayze, the great Sam Elliott, that incredible doctor, what's her name? Kelly Lynch. Kelly Lynch, I think is the actress's name. And one of my favorite guitar players of all time, Jeff Healey and the Jeff Healey Band. Out of respect for all of them, the late, great Jeff Healey. Who could play?
Teeter. Polar bear fell on it. Then Teeter. Polar bear fell on him.
Teeter. That's a Teeter. Oh, God. I forgot about Teeter. ATX Bates. There's another one for your death casting. Jeff Healey's no longer alive. So if you need a guitar player to play somebody, go with Jeff Healey. That will work. All right. We are just about done. It's The Outsiders brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. I'm wearing a Poncho shirt tonight, and here are some more of them. The spring short sleeves. I do love them. Whether you go with the mother of pearl snaps, there's one of those on the Bat Masterson, or you want to go with more of that normal button, they've got those. The performance crews are excellent. The t-shirts we always talk about, so soft and comfy. I love sleeping in those. And the long sleeve stuff is incredible too. So go check it out. PonchoOutdoors.com. Mention Orange Bloods Live or The Outsiders when you order. We do appreciate it. All right, y'all. Thank you for liking and subscribing and getting those notifications. I just realized, did we go this far and not see Lisa from Specs? Let's do that. Get stocked up at Specs. Do you need more beverages? Get stocked up. Brown waters and clear waters and all kinds of things. Come on now.
At Specs, it doesn't cost a lot to turn a good time into a great time, especially if you like saving money. From connoisseur collectors to aficionados of ale, you'll find bubbly bliss at any budget with a Texas-sized selection of world-class wines, rare spirits, craft beers, and more. So when you're getting ready for a good time, Specs is ready to make it great. Because at Specs, the fun starts here.
Shout Specs, low priced, amazing. Here's to you, shout, cheers to saving.
And remember, when they try to call you just another beer drinker, tell them you're an aficionado of ale. That's what I'm going to try from now on. All right. Oh, my. You see? What are we doing? What is going on over here?
That's why I was raising my finger. Chris Bennett's comment deserves to be read.
What is happening? Wait, hold on. Which one?
Michael Clark Duncan can play Leonard Davis in the movie.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That, you know what? ATX Bates has fallen off of a chair laughing at this point.
The fact that everybody comes to listen to this show and just throw out dead people playing live people is just wrong.
Yeah, and by the way, if we're going to do that, ATX Bates, what are you doing? Prince to play Jeff Healey in Roadhouse 3? The band Beatdown? What? Huh? What? How does that matter?
That's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. You can't have a dead guy playing a dead guy.
Right.
It doesn't work.
I thought you said that was bad, Egon. What are you doing? Yeah, we can't do that.
All right. Pull the cord, Chad. We've hit absolute off the rails.
Now we're good. And I continue to think it's adorable that you think we have rails. Next Wednesday at 8:30, we'll do another Outsiders and drink some stuff and talk about sports and all this stuff. Yo, hey, ho, whoa. Fighting words. The new Roadhouse is better than Teen Wolf. ATX Bates, that's just a flat lie. There's no way that's true. No way. We won't even have the debate. You're being silly. Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and getting your notifications. Check out all the great content at Orange Bloods Live. Get signed up for orangebloods.com right now. There is a special offer going on to get you, I think it's 50% off of the entire year. And I think the code is SPRING25. check into that. Get on over to orangebloods.com and find out more about it. Y'all take care. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Jason Dick will be with us drinking weird beverages too. Until then, we are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit.